Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me today. Today I have a fun little card and it is all about a layout and using your DSP scraps. It doesn't take very much DSP paper to make the card that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to change it up, and I have lots of samples I've made of other using other designer series paper other than the one I'm using today. I'm using the one from Dandelion Garden. And with it coming to a new catalog starting May, I think it's the 3rd, we are going to have a whole lot of designer series paper that's going to retire and some new ones that are going to be available. And so in an effort to use up my own scraps of some of the designer series paper that's going to retire, I came up with this design, and I think it'll work for you for lots of different things, and there's ways to step it up or keep it super simple. This would be a great card for a package of thank you cards for somebody, or a package of all different kinds of sentiments for someone as a gift. So let's just get started. Okay, here is my card, and it is a very simple card, something that's very easy to repeat. It uses a colored cardstock base with a piece in the center of your featured designer series paper that is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then a matching piece of cardstock to your base that is 3 inches by 4 inches. Then you need a little piece of scrap of whatever your base is to use our dual oval punch to cut out this outside piece out of the top and to cut a small oval for the inside. Then your sentiments can be anything. On this one, I just put a little piece of the designer series paper and a couple of dragonflies. And then I took another piece of that designer series paper and I cut it. This envelope is 5 3/4 inches wide, and so I made my piece 5 3/4 by 2 3/8, which is enough to cover the envelope. And then I opened it up and used my snips to just cut the envelope shape out, and there you've got this lovely little package. Now, what I didn't do on this one was add any embellishments, and that is something you definitely can do and should do. And let's see, I was using these, the Artistry Blooms adhesive backed sequins, and I think these would be lovely on there. And in some others, I used different colors of these sequins. Those match pretty closely too. These can easily be used to pick up some of the yellow tones. So let's just go ahead and put a couple of these on here, and I'm going to do this color because I think it's very interesting. I'm going to put a large one towards the top. I'm going to add one to my sentiment, and I'm going to sprinkle a couple of these around on the card, and like that. And because it's a sequin, you can get away with one on the inside because it's not going to raise it up too much. So there we go. That finishes that one off, and then I've got this lovely matching envelope. This says, "Have a beautiful day." It could say on the inside, "Happy birthday." As is my practice, I generally leave these blank until I know exactly what I'm going to be sending it for, and then I can add my sentiment. Okay, so what do you need to make this card? For this one, we're going to make this one again, but a little differently. So on this one, I've set aside these sequins to use, with it. And I am using, because it's going to retire, the terracotta base. Now, in this paper, it says that the matching color is Calypso Coral, but I think there's such a slight difference in that will work just beautifully. So you need a card base, and I made this very simple. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then you need 2 pieces that are 4 by 5 1/4, one for the outside, one for the inside. We need that 5 3/4 by 2 3/8 piece here for our envelope, which we'll attach. Then you need punched out, and with this one, instead of using cardstock, I used another piece of the designer series paper because I thought that would make it a little bit more interesting. Then I have my 2 pieces, my 2 ovals cut out. Then I have another strip of this paper and a piece of this designer series paper to go on the inside, plus I punched out a couple of little dragonflies, and this paper can go behind our sentiment to make that. You could use either one. I might just choose to use that one because it's, again, will match the backing that I've got going on here, and a few sequins, and you're done. Now, I will show you, this is a stepped up one. This one is done in the hydrangea paper that is also going to be retired. And this, I fussy cut out one of the flowers and I raised it on dimensionals. I used my sprig punch to punch out a couple of leaves in Mossy Meadow and Old Olive, and added those to the card, and added a little piece of ribbon, and added some pearls, and added a little piece of ribbon and some card on the inside. So let me just show you the ones that I did. This is another one that's going to retire. So I did this one in this beautiful paper from the Art Floral Suite, and I backed this one in Old Olive. Could have done it in Mossy Meadow too, but I did this one in Old Olive, and I never even got around to putting something on the inside of that one, but I've got a strip of paper here we could do that. And then I made another one like that, but I did it in Blackberry Bliss as the backing to pick up that color, and I just put a strip of the paper on the inside. And isn't that pretty? And I used some of our dark blue rhinestones on that one. Let's see, this one, oh, I did this one using the Misty Moonlight. No, I did not. I used the Seaside Spray, and then I stamped it in Misty Moonlight. And I used some of the blue sequins from this Artistry Blooms adhesive back sequins on this one, and did that one that way. And let's see, is that it? That might be all of them that I did, but we'll bring them back out in a minute. Let's get this one put together. Again, very simple, very fast card. And if you wanted a little package of cards to take to somebody, or a couple of cards as a hostess gift as we can get out more, this would be a lovely thing to do. So I'm just going to use my seal on the back of my designer series paper, and I'm going to attach this to my backing or mat. And I did this, like I said, in some of the other matching designer series paper. Then I'm going to attach this piece, and I'm going to put this piece kind of right in the middle of my piece of white. My tape isn't cooperating today. There it goes. All right, so I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it right smack dab in the middle of this one. You can sure measure this if you'd like. I'm just going to eyeball it and put that piece down. Then this piece is ready to go right on the front of my card. And there we've got the basics done here of this card. And there we go. Then I have my 2 pieces here, and we just have to decide what sentiment. And today I'm using all things that will be retiring. So I'm going to make this one a thanks card, and I'm going to use my thanks from my favorite stamp set that is going away, boo-hoo. This one is thanks from Here's a Card, and I'm going to do that one in the terracotta tile ink so it will match. And going to ink up my thanks here and set it right on the inside of my oval. There we go. Then I'm going to give that a second to dry, and while I do that, I think I'll do the inside part of my card. Let's see, I'm going to put these pieces down first just in case I have to do any trimming. I'm going to add my snail to the back of this piece and put it in place top to bottom on my white card, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, add my snail to the back of this piece and put that in the center of my card. The only thing you have to watch with this paper is make sure your dragonflies are flying in the direction you want them to be. Okay, so there we go there. Now this piece is ready to go on the inside of my card, and you can see just how quickly this card can be done. So I'm going to go ahead and add this piece to the inside of my card here. That's not on there very straight. I wonder if I can fix that. Maybe I can coax that up and straighten it out a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, this piece I think is dry, and I'm just going to add a little bit of snail to the back of this and put it on this piece of DSP, hopefully straight. I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back here and take off my release paper, set that in place right here on my card, and then we're going to go ahead and add a few little things to the front of our card. So I'm going to add that large one there and maybe another large one up in this corner, and then I've got 3 smaller ones that I'm going to put one here on my thanks, and I'm going to set one there and add my 3rd one right maybe along up here. All right, and there is my card complete. Now I think I had 2 of these little guys, I do, and so just to add a little bit here, I'm going to take my silicone mat and my dot runner and add some snail to the back of these, and I'm going to set one there. That's coming up on me, so I'm just going to add a little bit of snail. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put this second dragonfly right down here in the corner, and there I have a beautiful little card. Now the envelope, I'm going to add snail to my envelope back here, and I'm going to make sure I get it right on the edges of this so that it will adhere to the envelope and not come loose in the mail. All right, so this fits just easily right up. And what I found was if you got this corner started and this was flush against here, so providing your cut was good, then you could drag this across the card pretty easily and get it to come down on the envelope on this side. Then it's just a matter of taking your snips and going along the edge of the envelope and getting rid of these little pieces that are left and coming across here to trim that up. And I just think this would make such a pretty little, even if it was just a note card set or a bunch of thank yous, or like I said, a variety of birthday, thinking of you, get well, and so on, to give to someone. Okay, so there is my envelope that now matches my card. Isn't that fun? And you saw just how quickly that went. So let me bring these back. This is the one I had done previously. And so this one matches this one. And this one's just a little bit different in that I featured the larger dragonfly. Now you could cut out a dragonfly and put that over in vellum or anything to give this a little bit more of a pop. That would be pretty too. So I did these two. Then I did this one, which is my stepped up one, because it's got the cutout, the leaves, and the little piece of ribbon that I added with a glue dot. And it has its matching envelope. I want to show these, I think, this way so you get the full impact of the cards. So there's this one with the mossy meadow on the outside, this one with the big dragonfly, this one with the little dragonfly, and you see how little paper this takes, this one which is done in the soft blues using this. See how much different that looks? My goodness, it's just amazing. So here's this one. Then I have this one done with the Blackberry Bliss around the outside, and this one that's done with the Old Olive around the outside. And so there you can see I made all of these yet this afternoon, so it went very fast. And because you know this is 2 3/4, that's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, that's 3 by 4. This is a regular mat, 4 by 5 1/4, one for the inside, one for the outside, a strip of paper for your inside, and even if you didn't decorate the outside of your envelopes. This one says, hope you're feeling better. This one says, thanks. This one says, fabulous at any age. This one says, best wishes. This one says, thanks. And this one says, have a beautiful day. So I think that all of the material that I'm using today, Seaside Spray and Terracotta Tile are going to retire. This paper's going to retire. This paper's going to retire, and this paper's going to retire. Also, this one and this one came from Itty Bitty Greetings, which is going to finally retire after being in the catalog for several years now. So I was using up things, and these came from, here's a card, which is going to retire. And so just a concept of a layout that works with any kind of designer series paper and just picking up the complementary colors. So that is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. Let's see, this is March still. We've got a couple of days left in March. And my prize for the end of the month is a $60 shopping spree on me. And all you have to do to put yourself in the drawing is put an order on my site, lbedinger.stampinup.net, or you can get to it through my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. The measurements for this are always listed just below the video on the Show More. And if you subscribe to my channel and click the little bell, then you'll be notified every time I put up a video. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!